Most professionals have heard of executive presence, but if you asked 5 different people to define it, you'd probably get 5 different answers. It's part of performance reviews, it's considered in hiring decisions and investment calls, and yet it's rarely defined clearly or consistently. So I want to put my hat in the ring here because executive presence matters professionally. When you have 2 people of equal technical expertise, presence is what differentiates. And sometimes presence can even win over technical expertise because it's how we connect with one another. So if you've ever been given this vague feedback or you've had a hunch that presence might be holding you back, but you're not sure where to start, then this episode is for you. Today, we're going to talk about what executive presence actually is and how to access it in a way that is aligned with your authentic voice. Welcome to Read the Room. I'm Mary Falkenstern. Let's begin. All right, so before we dive in, let's name something. The reason why smart, thoughtful people sometimes can dismiss executive presence is because they associate it with style over substance. They think it's about how you say it, not what you say. And so, it's the prototypical example of that is that person that seems to move ahead when they don't have great ideas, they just have great delivery, and so their polish is winning the game. While that may lead to quick wins, I have never seen that sustain over time. The reason executive presence is part of these critical decision-making moments for organizations is because it brings immense value to relationships. So what executive presence really is about ownership of your voice, ownership of your perspective. It does not require that you mimic anybody else's style, but you do need access to and the ability to project a clear signal that says, I'm here, I'm ready, and I know what matters. So how do we do this? How do we build this? Well, I want to start off with this paradox that presence seems to be something that happens in the moment, but it's actually the result of what happens before. Now, people and business are both very complex. Think ideas, the dynamics that are happening interpersonally, emotions that any one person in a room is having at any given moment. And so if we leave it up to chance that we're going to show up and just be able to be present and have presence, the reason people are doing that, by the way, is they think that if they show up and they just wing it, that they'll have a more natural style, that they won't be overly scripted, overly prepared. But what really happens is one of 2 things. You have one person who is thinking and speaking at the same time. They didn't prepare. They're just thinking, okay, well, off the cuff, I'll have more of a conversational tone. And so they speak while they're thinking, and it's disorganized. And then people don't listen because they couldn't understand or follow. And then the other thing that can happen is that somebody's thinking while all the dynamics in the room are going on, and they never get their idea out, and the room moved on, and the idea was never heard at all. So there's this false understanding that we just show up and it all falls into place. That is actually not true. People who are the best at bringing their presence have done the work to support themselves so that they're not focused on all the things they could control before. They're ready to connect. So how do they do that? How can you start to support yourself with the structure? So what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a framework for how to mentally prepare, meaning how are you thinking about this structurally so that you're supported to connect, and then physically. How are you priming yourself to be in the moment, really connecting and not lost in the noise that most people get caught up in and therefore don't really connect with other people? Okay, so let's begin with the mental preparation. The goal here is to be anchored in purpose and direction. And I always think about, no matter what, I don't know your specific context, and you have many different contexts that you'll be speaking in. I always think of communication like a bridge. There is a moment we're starting at, and there is a moment we're going towards. On one side of the bridge is our shared intent. Why are we in this room together? Why is this person or these people showing up with you today? And on the other side of the bridge is the destination. Where are you taking them? There is never a communication, especially in business, that happens where we're going after nothing. We don't want to end any business meeting the same place we started. So being clear on that destination, what it does is it gives you a guiding light towards everything else you would prepare. Okay, so I've built the bridge. Now I'm getting ready to enter the room. This is about physically priming your nervous system. Everybody has noise. There's things that have happened before. There are things you are going to encounter after. But if we come back to this bridge, what I want to do is be completely in the here and now, moment to moment to moment to moment in this next interaction. And so I've got to let go of everything on the periphery. How? Take a cleansing breath is the easiest way. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then, who are you about to connect with? You are never connecting with somebody's title. You are never talking to a committee. It's just people. So if you're speaking to somebody who might be more senior, there's something where you feel like you've got to impress somebody, you never are impressing. They are there because you have value to provide for them. They wouldn't be in that room if you didn't. So what is it that you are there to do to serve them and really think of them as just people? Now, while that neutralizes the playing field and allows you to not get intimidated or thrown off by anybody's title, what it also does physiologically is we are naturally attuned to connect with other people. So when you think of the person as opposed to the title, your micro expressions soften. And if you can connect and look at them in the eyes and be ready really to see people and bring extensive energy, you're extending your energy towards them, they will naturally start to mirror it. You will pull people into that present moment too. And so then you get this moment where other people enjoy the interaction more because you're tapping into this human element of presence. Okay, now, if you are priming for, say, this filled, packed stadium, you will want some kind of priming ritual that's a little bit different, and I'll make a different episode on that, like stand-up comics or stage performers, world leaders. What are they doing before those stadium-level moments? But for most professionals, it's the one-on-one small interactions that have the highest yield because you have so many repetitions of this. And most people are just glazing past them. They're considering them low stakes, no big deal, so they're multitasking on the Zoom call. You're not going to do that. You're going to bring your presence every single moment because then that becomes part of your brand. Now you're the one getting buy-in in a moment where other people didn't even think that was possible. They weren't even plugged in. So start showing up regularly like this, and that's where you're going to get the biggest reward. One of my teachers is Patsy Rodenburg. She's this revered voice and presence coach. She has worked with Oscar-winning actors and global leaders for decades. And she once said something that really stood out to me. She said, "I've never met a world-class speaker who didn't prepare for even the smallest of interactions." And she said that anytime she speaks with somebody who's really elite at communicating, that even when they're having simple phone conversations, if they know they're coming, they will actually practice saying their side of it out loud. It's just a habit, she said, that they get into. It's the way that they move through their moments. And so this is what nobody tells you, is that it's about preparation, that you're preparing yourself to connect. So if you leave with nothing else, please don't take the bait that people who have presence are just showing up and that their charm is this organic thing. No, it is primed, it is prepared, and it's with the intent to connect. I hope you found this helpful. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, you already have what you need. Now help the room see it. I'm Mary Falkenstern. Thanks for joining. Until next time.